This work's very important to me. I'm fortunate enough to be paid to keep these old cars alive, and you know, I should probably have been born a long time ago, man, because you know, I'm an old analog way of thinking type dude, and I just love these old cars, and I just want to keep them alive, man. All right, this is my shop here at Martin Brothers. This is still the kind of the main shop where all the metal fabrication equipment is, and metal fab work goes down. And you see some of the projects going on here. We got this 41 DeSoto here. This was kind of an ugly duckling project. Came in from a really good customer, and it's got all kinds of work just to kind of de-uglyify this thing. And it's still in the process. Kind of long-winded project. You know, fortunately, we're to the point now where we kind of hand-pick what we want to do. You know, we get people that want to build. You know, we got customers. You know, there's 20 Camaro builds out there, or there's this one Riviera, or there's this one something. You know, something that we haven't done. So it's kind of nice. We can kind of cherry-pick what we haven't built yet, and we kind of live vicariously through our customers, man, because obviously we couldn't afford to build all these cars ourselves, but we get the opportunity to build them. So it's really cool. You know, we'll handle everything from that point. We do the paint, we do the fab work, interior here. Everything's done pretty much here, so it's kind of nice. We've got a really great group of guys and kind of lean on each other, but if we can have it under one roof, it just seems like we have a little more control over everything. There's a Nova project we got going on here. But we started with a pretty nice car. We built our own frame for it, built new floors. The customer's got a big, crazy supercharged motor that had to come way back. So we had to move it, firewall back. Everything had to kind of come back, kind of like almost like a drag car, you know. But a lot of just engineering, trying to get everything to fit in this little car, you know. Just a 50 Chevy truck. We actually do a lot of these frame swaps. This one here's got a Roadster shop frame in it. And so we're doing a lot of that stuff where people are taking their old rides, kind of update them where they can enjoy driving them, a little, you know, better handling characteristics, a little more performance. We got a nice frame under it, nice little motor. We'll do some interior upgrades, and then, man, just have him a nice driver, you know. So I don't really have a metal shaping background. I mean, I'm 100% self-taught. I was just fascinated with it as a little kid, and, you know, looking at a car and wondering how'd they make that door, how'd they make that hood, how'd they do that. And I can just remember how in the hell they did it, and people try to explain it to me. Nobody really knew. As I got older and wanted to work on my own cars, so I thought, man, I'm gonna teach myself. And so, you know, I bought a little panel beating bag and some hammers. You know, look in the old magazines, try to find some books. You know, there was no internet at the time. I had a buddy that had a chassis shop, a lot older than me, and we did a lot of street racing. And I met him through the street racing scene. And he let me come to the shop and hang out. I had a car I was working on. He said, bring it up here, I'll show you how to do some things, man. And this really cool project here, 65 Riviera. Chad's working on right here, sitting on a Roadster shop frame, and just killer stance. LS3, you can see the floors have been blown out of it. Chad fabbed up all new floors, all new wheel tubs. Basically took the stop X frame out of the car, put a Roadster shop frame, perimeter style frame, blew out the floors, mounted the body to the frame, kind of set the body where he wanted, and just pretty much made all the floors, and so it'll be a really cool car. Kind of a mild, you know, some mild body mods on it, but just kind of true to form, but just going to be a killer ride, killer driver, and the classic Riviera stance, you know. Just some of the cool things. Chad did this cool little vent right here, 63, 64, had the little scoops right there, and we thought the 65 needed something. 59 Impala over here. Yeah, same thing. It was sitting on a roadster shop frame. Car came in from the northeast, and it had actually been in Hurricane Sandy. This thing was underwater, under salt water. And so it's had, needless to say, it had a lot of rust repair. And but it's coming out to be a really cool car, man, and still a lot of work left to do to it, but very cool car. Trying to make some forward progress on it. I've always done paint work, so I did lettering when I was young, and as I got in my late teens, I would do lettering, pinstripe work. And before there was vinyl and all this sort of thing, all the mini truck clubs, dirt trackers, everybody would have to have everything hand painted, man. So I would hand paint, you know, the name of somebody's show truck, or the numbers on a dirt car, or the NHRA numbers on a drag car, that sort of thing. And, you know, amassed this big group of people that were into everything: off-road guys, dirt track, drag race, old school, customs, low riders. And all those people, I would draw something kind of education from that culture, that car culture. My first car was a 59 Cadillac, it's kind of a custom, and then I got into the street racing, had a 78 Trans Am, and so the Trans Am I kind of really cut my teeth on. I always trade from my parts, man, and traded from my motor, my transmission, but at the same time too, I'd pick up knowledge from these old school dudes, you know, chassis shop guys, motor guys, transmission guys, and try to learn something, absorb it, man. And because, you know, I couldn't afford to, you know, do all this stuff myself. I had to learn it, and I just was fascinated with every aspect of building that car, and I wanted to learn as much as I could to do it all myself. Yeah, here's the paint booth. We started out with a paint booth out back and under the awning out back of the shop, because we were doing, you know, we'd use that booth for priming and stuff, but that was our main booth at first. And then we hooked up with the people from Colmet, and we got this booth here, and it works out great. So we just kind of reserve it for the clear coating, for the base coat, all the clean work. You know, try to keep all the paint jobs clean, keep all the other stuff outside. But when we first did this shop, everything was all in one building. And as time went on and allowed, we built some more buildings. So here's you know, the metalworking department here. You know, everything pretty much happens right in here. Got all of our collection equipment that I've amassed over the years. You know, one of my old favorites is my hole punch machine right here. Yeah. It's a very cool old machine, nice manual machine. I got my tubing bender. I love this bender. It's just been very versatile machine, and, you know, been collecting up all the different tooling and everything. It's just a great machine. Gets used a whole lot, yeah. I mean, we do the chassis, we do roll cages, we do all kinds of stuff with this thing, and just a bulletproof machine, really. Got our kick shrinkers. Got a Baileigh tube notcher. Gets used a lot with the tubing bender. Yeah, my wheel is handmade. I had an old Metal Ace kit that I bought the wheels years ago, probably 25 years ago. Built my own machine. Just wanted something super heavy duty. It's got a metal sombrero on it. It's our Spanish wheel, it's not our English wheel, man. So here in Texas, we got Spanish wheels, man. So. Tools I started out with were actually, I had a MIG welder, and I just had some cut-off wheels, and so I started with that. Then I got a panel beating bag and some hammers. So I'd try to form stuff, and I even made my own sheet metal brake years ago out of some heavy angle iron. You know, if I was making a wheel tub or something, or I was making a little console, it was very basic. And so I started out with these tools, and then as I absorbed more, you know, knowledge of the stuff, I'm like, okay, man, now I need this, I need this. If I really want to shape this, or if I want to shrink this, I'm going to need this tool now. Just, you know, the more gear I collected, of course, the easier it got, you know, but still always trying to learn new ways to manipulate the metal. I mean, you never can learn enough. It's one of my favorite machines right here. RH19, very cool machine. I love it. I love the shrinking dies on this thing. So it just has real cool, tight access. Other than my big power hammer, the dies on that thing, it's got, you know, tight little dies. So if you're doing some really drastic radius shapes or something, man, I love this machine. It's kind of my go-to machine, and then I can just basically come from that and go straight to the planishing hammer and get some really cool shapes out of this thing. You can move it around the shop, and a lot of really cool tooling for it. It's like a little mini hammer, it really is, man, and I just love this machine. Yeah, I got old tinsmith notcher on there, old lathe. I think it's a 1950 Logan, works great. I think I bought it at a dude's garage sale for like 200 bucks or something, man. And power hammer's cool. It's a home built deal. The heads, I got it from a local dude who was taking these pieces and building a hammer. I think these are, yeah, it was all Mittler stuff, what the dude said, and had it for a long time. It's been a great machine. You know, we're doing a lot of muscle car stuff lately, and so you don't do a lot of shaping in those cars, man. But, you know, when you need the gear, you need the gear, man. There, right? It's got to be there. And yeah, I got some saws, got some old mills, got my big ring roller here. That thing comes in handy for all kinds of cool stuff. Got all kinds of cool different tooling for it. You know, it's one of those machines you don't need that often, but when you need it, you really need it, you know. Pretty much have to have plasma cutter, and makes life so much easier. You know, fabricating motor mounts, fabricating pretty much anything. Brackets, all about brackets, man. It's all about time is money. The Baileigh equipment I got is pretty much older gear, and it's stood the test of time. Obviously, I'm always trying to acquire more stuff, but I've really got everything dialed in, and that gear has been with me a long time, and it still does the job. It does. Stuff performs every day, man. And here's one of my favorite machines here, little Baileigh tube notcher right here. Chris Rush came out with this machine a while back, and so what's so cool about this machine is, you know, the way this thing clamps onto your tubing. It's like you can take a piece of bent tubing, and this thing will clamp it, you know. So it's really cool, man. It's a very versatile machine, you know, very affordable. You know, if you can't afford the high dollar notchers, man, this is got to be one of the most awesome tubing notchers, man. You know, the way this machine clamps the tubing, it's so cool. You can take a bent piece at a different radius. Different radiuses will fit in there, and so you can kind of cut at different angles. So it's really cool. You know, how this thing moves around. So you can just come around, you know, hit the tubing from different angles. Just super killer machine, man. World, all these fabricators in the car world, hot rod world, but you know, Baileigh is kind of a big deal to all of us, you know. And some of these industrial companies, man, just are only focused on these giant corporations and giant manufacturing, and you know, it just seems like Baileigh's more focused. I mean, they're focused, they can handle the big corporation stuff too, but man, they still take the time out for the little guy, for the little shops like us, man, making little pieces of equipment that we can use that's still affordable, and you know, helps us move our you know, creativity and our businesses forward, man. You know, what would my legacy be? I never really thought about it, man. You know, because I think I'm going to be hopefully like Gene Winfield. I'm 90 something doing this stuff, not thinking of my legacy, man.